Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are we getting on? So, Bethesda have released another Fallout 76 Inside the Vault blog post, and there's a couple of very, very interesting features on this that I wanted to take a look at. So, I'll link the full post down in the description below if you want to read the whole thing for yourself. But I thought we'd take a minute to look at some of the very, very cool features that are coming up over the next few weeks. So, first things first, I'm going to start at the end. As there's one thing that really caught my eye, that's something I've really wanted for a while, and I'm very much looking forward to. So that's in the patch 5 details. So we're still targeting the end of January for the release of patch 5. Now today is the 24th, so we've got just over a week left, so there's a very good chance we'll be getting another patch this month, basically next week hopefully. That's very, very cool, looking forward to that. So we're spotting another massive round of bugs, fantastic, always up for that. And implementing a number of player feedback changes, which is cool. So hotkey improvements for French speakers. Okay, fine. And this is the one that I've been really crying out for a while, and very, very, very happy to see finally coming on. A known tag will now appear next to recipes and plans you've already learned in vendor and player inventories and trade menus. Fantastic. A number of times I've bought a plan only to discover I've already got it, because after all there's hundreds of the bleeding things, and realised I've wasted hundreds of caps on it, given that they're hard to acquire, or harder to acquire in this game than they have been in previous ones. This is an absolutely fantastic change. It's been bugging me from day one, and I'm really pleased to see this is coming. A little surprised it's taken so long, but that's absolutely brilliant. If that's coming in the next patch by the end of this month, I'll be very, very happy. Absolutely brilliant, especially if it ties up with the player vending thing coming on. Hopefully we'll be able to sell each other plans we've got and exchange them and things like that. And actually pick things up a little more quickly, which would be cool. So yeah, that's a massive feature that I wanted to focus on first, because it's something that I know I particularly, and I think other settlement builders, camp builders, have been crying out for, and those who are looking for specific gear plans as well. So that's very, very cool. So the usual intro, and they're going to be talking about PvP, the new PvP mode. So they've dubbed the new mode Survival, which seems like a strange choice given that it's a survival-based game anyway, but okay, whatever. As long as we can differentiate the two, that's the main thing. So we've got a new, more dangerous game mode, Survival, and it's coming out in beta fairly soon. They haven't given a specific date for that yet, but that's very cool. We've got more details, which I'm sure a lot of people are ready for. So since the launch of Fallout 76, we've received lots of feedback on some of our more competitive players, requested a greater challenge, fewer restrictions, and more incentives on PvP. Okay, so that pretty much in a nutshell covers everything they're doing, which is cool. So their original plan of making player interactions, giving the PvP angle sort of a level of threat and excitement, didn't really pan out because they made it too safe. Actually, not such a bad thing from my point of view. Getting caught into PvP unexpectedly was not something I really needed or wanted, so having this is very, very cool. However, this somehow allows an option for those who really do want to do the PvP thing to focus more on that. So, after hitting play from the main menu, you'll be able to choose whether or not you play in adventure mode, which is the current setup, or the new survival mode, which is basically the same in terms of its quest, story, events, etc., but the PvP settings change. So you can create new characters for that if you'd like. They will transfer across both modes, and everything you achieved and gained on one mode will transfer to the other if you want to go across between the two. If you don't, create a new character and only play it in the other mode. So, Stranger Danger. Not for the faint of heart. All players except your teammates or event group mates are automatically flagged as hostile. So they'll come up with their name in red, their level, their health bar, all that stuff. There'll be no invitation to PvP, so that first shot won't do 1 damage or whatever it does. It'll go straight to full damage. And you can attack other players without restriction. Further level scaling in survival mode will not work the same way it does in adventure mode today. This will help you level the playing field. Oh, no, it will work rather. This will help level the playing field a bit and give newer characters a fighting chance against high-level players they might encounter during their adventures. Experimenting with the death mechanics. Currently, players who die in survival mode will be unable to use the Seek Revenge option against their aggressors and can only respawn at Camp or Vault 76. So you won't be able to just go straight back in and try and fight them again. You'd have to hunt them down all over again if you wanted to do so. We are also planning to award you double the caps when you kill another player. That's not necessarily a very big upgrade, seeing as they only go up in 10s at the moment. There we go. And they may also drop their aid or other items in addition to their junk. As long as that doesn't start being weapons and armour, that's not a bad change. On the other hand, it means you could very rapidly find yourself with no stim packs if you're dropping those as well. But that's adding to the risk of the situation, which is the idea behind the mode. It's important to note these changes aren't set in stone. We'll be looking to make adjustments based on playtesting and your feedback during the survival beta. And a little note that adventure worlds and survival worlds are completely separate, so if you pick one, you won't be in a play. If you pick adventure and want to keep playing in the current mode, you won't have other players running around in the survival mode, and vice versa, which makes sense. That would just be too confusing, you'd never know what was going on. Leaderboards. They're introducing leaderboards into presumably just a survival mode from the look of this. You can see how you stack up against other people. Not sure how that will work. Sometimes people pull off leaderboards, sometimes they really don't in other games, so interesting idea. Not particularly thrilled by that particular development, but as I don't really plan to go into a survival mode, not really too much of a problem for me. My biggest take from this is, yeah, if you want to go ham with the PvP, then that should be very, very good for you. For me, I probably won't, because it'll just have a knock-on effect on creating content and having fun, chilled-out streams, which is more my MO. But those who do, it should be quite cool. Dropping additional gear and stuff, yeah, that makes sense in this context, but again, it's something that doesn't really appeal to me. And the other side of it, of course, being the high level thing. I recently, on a stream, managed to pick up a wanted tag, because I went into a workshop while I was exploring, and accidentally tagged somebody else's turret while I was being attacked, and got myself a wanted tag, and then picked a lock on one of the containers, so that one was probably on me. But the upshot was I couldn't, as I'm sure you're aware, I couldn't shift that until somebody today came over and decided he wanted to claim the bounty. Now, this player came running up in a suit of power armor, which was good for me because I could hear him clanking along before he got to me, so just as I happened to be in my camp, chucked all my junk straight into my stash and just stood there and let him whack me with his super sledge and one-shot me. Made particularly easy by the fact that I was level 60 and he was level 179. So, even if they are leveling things out in this new survival mode, that kind of a discrepancy, which will occur because you can switch characters across the two types of game mode, means that had I defended myself, or tried to, I'd have still been one-shot. I mean, maybe if I can keep my distance, I could have taken him down, but even with the balancing, you're still going to find that players who are much higher level than you are still going to be able to absolutely own you with no effort whatsoever, and it is not even close to balanced at the moment. So, on the other hand, yeah, advancement and levels need to be incorporated. The other side of it being that for those of us who only play less hours than other people, or in my case only play on stream and main making videos, that's not going to appeal to me. If I run into a player who's much higher level than me, I'm in deep trouble every time. So that's not something I want to do. I think that will definitely need some adjustment from Bethesda. To be honest, I've had PvP encounters where the level difference was much smaller than that, and I still couldn't, or still struggled to hold my own because I was a lower level. Ultimately, I think that's going to be a major problem with this new survival mode, but it'll be interesting to see how it pans out. They are going to put it into beta, and if enough people agree with me, hopefully they'll pass that message on to Bethesda. So, that covers everything in this little blog post for now. So there's some interesting stuff in there. I'm over the moon about the known plan flag. That's absolutely brilliant. Not too enthralled with the PvP idea, but I'm sure it will appeal to plenty of people as well, so that's cool. And yeah, looking forward to seeing what else they include in the new patch. So yeah, I'll leave this one here. I do hope that was useful or informative for you. If you did enjoy the video, you know what to do by now. Social media links, as always, should be popping up on screen and will be down in the description. So if you'd like to keep up with me on there, please do. For now, thank you very much for watching. I will be speaking to you all very, very soon.